Animal activists have some old targets in their sights once again. PETA has renewed its attack on mulesing by targeting would-be tourists to Australia with graphic pictures of the mulesing operation. And the live trade is waiting for another secret video disclosure of cattle welfare practices, this time in Indonesia. One thing these attacks do is scare the hell out of politicians, which of course is the exact aim of the animal activists. Let's start with the live trade to the north, where the big bog is impacting numbers and putting real pressure on prices. Steers ex-Darwin at $2.15 and heifers an even $2. Incidentally, Indonesia has just released a big wad of permits for around 200,000 head to be revised, I'm told, towards the end of the year. Now to the sale yards, and the strong dollar is giving exporters some heartache, but the restockers are compensating. They're buying virtually anything with a cud. Nevertheless, most prices eased last week. The trade cattle category bounced again, but other categories fell. Some producers are offloading while prices and quality remain high. So the Eastern Young Cattle Indicator jumped around a bit, but finished firm on last week's close at $4.18. Now, as autumn sets in, lamb quality is less consistent and prices ease, but once again the restockers are everywhere, and this support is keeping prices close to the record highs of a few weeks back. $6.22 a kilo is the price for an 18 to 22 kilo lamb carcass, and check that mutton price still in the stratosphere. Now, dairy farmers might hate the super discounted milk war, but their exports are doing okay. Butter and skim milk powder are in demand, so too are Australian dairy heifers, big numbers still heading to Asia and even Russia. To grains now, and markets have been mostly soft over the past week or so, with the exception being corn, where the stocks-to-use ratio is said to be the tightest since the 1930s. In Chicago, reports of a big South American crop put the spear into soybeans. Wheat was off 14 cents, while that corn price must be causing head shakes just about everywhere. $7.59 a bushel for corn is an all-time high, or at least the highest since the food crisis of 1974, and more than double the price of early April last year. No other commodity has had a bigger bull run. In fact, the bull run is worth a look. Here's the price from the start of 2009. Mostly, the price stumbled around $3 to $4, but about July last year, it took off. The chief driver of the spike is ethanol. Now, local futures were fractionally weaker last week. The ASX reports WA wheat for early next year is at $327 a tonne, and East Coast milling wheat for the same month is $306 a tonne. Now, cotton, the mystery crop of the moment. Analysts keep saying it's ready to crash, but it keeps bouncing back. New York trade pushed cotton to $2.15 before it settled up 8 cents for the week. Sugar weakened a fraction, but remains very strong in historical terms. Now, cotton harvesting is underway in Australia, and nowhere is there more interest than at Cubby Station in Western Queensland. The prolonged drought sent Cubby broke, or all but. And have a look at the crop they're now taking off, an extraordinary 50,000 plus acres of irrigated cotton. With the current price and expected yields, the crop from Cubby could be worth more than $150 million. And finally to wool, where the market suffered its first setback in several weeks. The main reason? Quality. The big wet has contributed to a big lift in colour and vegetable matter problems. The dollar spike didn't help the mood of buyers either. So the Eastern Market Indicator closed down just over 0.5% at 1,375 cents. And while we're on wool, a flashback now to 2009 and part of an interview I did with the former Australian wool innovation boss, Brenda McGahn. Can I ask about football scarves? The AFL last year sold 116,000 scarves. That's AFL, and I'm sure rugby league and soccer sold a large number of scarves as well. They're all acrylic. They're all made in China. Why not made of wool?
It's a great question. Let's ask our football clubs, why don't they support the Australian wool industry and change those synthetic scarves to wool?
Who are you going to ask?
Let's do it together. I'd love to have some media help to do that.
Well, that was about the third or fourth time I'd raised that issue. Why should our Indigenous game have scarves made in China and not even made of our national fibre? Now, last week, AWI presented me with this. It's a 2-metre Brisbane line scarf made from 100% pure Australian wool. I shall certainly wear it proudly to the Gabba. In return, I've undertaken to move the question of woolen scarves to the AFL. Mr. Demetrio, it's over to you.